welcome guys to the first video ever on this channel. Today we are going to be grinding materials for probably the most useless build in my entire Minecraft world. Like, tell me why this requires 9 whole cauldrons? Is this tutorial think that I'm iron rich or something? I can barely get diamonds, are you kidding? Anyway, this topic of interest has welded itself so deeply in my heart that I felt that I must make at least a 10-minute video on it. Now, for context, my school Wi-Fi is not bad. It's just surprisingly good, but it's not great. It blocks Discord and literally no other website. And then the Chromebooks also block the UN, which is really interesting. The problem is that 90% of the time there's no Wi-Fi to connect to. Let me explain. Our school has like 7 different Wi-Fi routers, each with its own little name. We've got Chromebook, staff, guest, mobile, guest 2.0. There is a lot of Wi-Fi routers. None of them actually work consistently. Not one. One day it will load just fine, and then you'll turn off your laptop for like 2 seconds, open it again, and boom! You are no longer connected to the Wi-Fi. And the funniest part is that the school never gives the students its passwords, like ever. I guess the official school Wi-Fi policy is just like, good luck. You want to turn things in? The only Wi-Fi that used to work consistently was the office staff Wi-Fi, and that ironically was the one Wi-Fi that students and teachers weren't allowed to connect to. I've had teachers ask their class for the Wi-Fi password. I literally live in a sitcom. My school is a sitcom. That's gonna be another conspiracy theory that I probably will dive into later, but anyway. Listen, it's like everybody for themselves. It's an all-out war when it comes to struggling with Wi-Fi at my school. God forbid you want to check Google Classroom? Oh my gosh. And finish your video assignments, finish your homework assignments, and turn them in? Oh my goodness, God forbid you want to be a responsible student. Of course, students still found some way to connect to it. There was Wi-Fi password sharing rings with every single Wi-Fi router name and the password for the connection, and it's like whole Google Docs, whole Google Sheet concoction. And then when you need to access the internet for whatever reason, you just rush and roulette those 7 different Wi-Fi names and passwords until one of them works for at least half an hour. Usually, that was the office staff Wi-Fi. Forgive me for looking in my chest so much. I literally forget which materials I've already collected, so I'm going through my Minecraft screen, and this tutorial that I have pulled up is telling me, I need, hold up, 158 stairs? Wait, I need the calculator after this real quick. 158 divided by 64, that's 2 stacks? Wait. 64 times 2 minus 158. I need 2 stacks and 30 stairs. What kind of stairs again? I forgot. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have closed my calculator. Okay, I'm stupid. But as of last year, a few weeks before second semester finals, the staff found that there was at least 500 people connected to that Wi-Fi at any given time, and then began actively kicking people off of it. You might think I'm being a little bitter about this, but I'd like to question you. Bitter? I'm not bitter at all, actually. If you guys think that I'm bitter, I'm not. I'm never bitter. In fact, I'm never mad. It was actually quite funny because it ruined some of the teachers' finals plans. It's not confirmed actually if it was the kicking off the Wi-Fi or the Wi-Fi router general issues that ruined the Wi-Fi for basically the entire school, but any teacher who had any kind of online final was basically screwed over because the Wi-Fi didn't work. AP tests were also kind of screwed over because those happened around the same time. I was screwed over. We had to write our own recommendation letters in class during finals day, announced on finals day. See, I'm a pretty antisocial person, and any form of student-teacher interaction was usually me getting called on in class at maximum. Sometimes I would chat with the teacher, but that was usually limited to, "Hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? How was your weekend?" And that was it. But unfortunately for me, college applications required some kind of teacher recommendation. So I had to get some kind of recommendation from some kind of teacher. And this was my only chance. Not really, but this was a chance for me to get a recommendation letter with minimal teacher to student interaction. But lo and behold, the Wi-Fi didn't work. It was not working. I couldn't even get on Google Docs. Like I could not connect at all. But I was desperate, okay? I was desperate for this opportunity. So I wrote the whole thing on my phone. And then I like copied and pasted it onto a Google Doc via my phone. And then I sent it to my teacher also via my phone. And then I prayed, and then I edited, and then I prayed. I did submit that teacher's recommendation letter, so I'm hoping that my phone written and edited baseline was at least somewhat decent. Yes, I understand that teacher recommendation letters are supposed to be like written by the teacher for the student, but each teacher has like 100 students, and he was going to go in and edit it. Like the doc was just 3 points that we wanted him to focus on for our letter, and like in which ways we've grown and how that will apply to our future major, just simple things like that. But it was pretty important. Perhaps the Wi-Fi situation was like a fluke to prevent students from creating an uprising against the administration. This was all just some elaborate plan to diverge focus away from evil internal operations, like a red herring, if you will. We're so busy creating Wi-Fi password rings that we can't infiltrate the secret organization, things like that. Well, either way, nobody's investigating into any secret organization, so the school's safe for now. This year, I started making the best out of these kinds of situations. I just don't connect to the school Wi-Fi anymore and use my RNG luck instead. By RNG luck, I mean that our school has this system where we have a few minutes, like 45 minutes, to catch up on work during a designated period. And then the system will put you in a random classroom for that school year for that work period. And I just so happened to double pull library for this work period. Once last year and then once this year. So the library also has the only computers in the school with Ethernet cables. So I was able to use their computers to do work. Go RNG luck, I guess. Of course, the story has a pretty positive ending to it. One, I'm leaving. Um, and two, many students have adapted around this problem. Some evolutions of work habit were significantly less creative than others, like bringing your own laptop to school. Disgusting. But these evolutions were formed. I, for one, started to do my online work at home and doing more paper-based readings at school. The library was also filled to the brim before school, during lunch, during work period, after school, so it kind of silenced all previous PTA discussions about trying to defund the school library, so that was also great. People also began bringing their textbooks to school and their phones, but, well, yeah, they kind of mostly just use their phones. But teachers now also have their students do in-person finals and essays and work turn-ins instead of online stuff. Actually, maybe that was just specific to my teachers, but either way, students adapt, life moves on, and the earth continues to spin. So that was my first ever video on this channel, and true to my nature, it is about school. If you want to see more videos like this, well, I don't know if I'm going to make any more of these, but maybe consider subscribing perchance. Or don't. Bye.